Buying a receiver can leave you completely overloaded with information. So to help you get down to brass tacks, here's some things to keep in mind when you're looking at buying a new receiver. First, do you need a stereo receiver or a V receiver? What's the difference? A stereo receiver will give you a 2-channel setup aimed primarily at music listening. An AV receiver will give you a complete surround sound setup, as well as work in tandem with your TV. If you know for sure that you're only using this receiver for music listening, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going with a stereo receiver. But if you're thinking of upgrading in the near future, it may be worthwhile to go AV now, and that saves yourself a purchase later. Do you need 4K? Well, not everybody has a 4K TV at this point in time, but the world is definitely heading in the direction of 4K. Now, this is one of those things that even if you don't want a 4K receiver, it may be tough to avoid. Most receivers these days have 4K capability, but if you're buying a used receiver, it's something to keep in mind how soon you're going to want to make that switch. Keep in mind that most streaming services nowadays offer some sort of 4K streaming, and even if your current TV isn't 4K, the odds are pretty good that your next one will be. How many channels are there in your receiver? This one is pretty straightforward. If you have 7 speakers, a 5-channel receiver won't do the trick. Also keep in mind that if you want to run 2 subwoofers, does the receiver have 2 sub-outs? Does it have a phono input? If you want to run a turntable into the receiver, you're going to need a preamp. If you have a phono input, that'll do the job for you. If you don't have a phono input, you're going to need either a turntable with a built-in preamp like the Fluence RT80 and RT81, or you're going to need to get an external preamp. And while we're at it, does the receiver have all of the inputs that you need? It's not a bad idea to write down all of the components that you're looking to plug into it so that when you get the receiver and go to plug everything in, there's no unwelcome surprises. Does it have HDMI ARC? HDMI ARC stands for Audio Return Channel. And what this means is that one cable can send audio from your receiver to your TV, as well as from your TV back to your receiver. Your receiver will send video from your receiver to your television at the same time through the same cable. Any audio that's played through the TV will be sent to your receiver to then be sent through your speakers. Can it handle Dolby Atmos? Dolby Atmos is a newer technology which adds height to surround sound channels. Now, if you want to make use of a Dolby Atmos system, you're going to need a receiver that can handle it. Now, don't be too worried if your receiver doesn't have this. If you go to play back a Dolby Atmos Blu-ray, you'll still be able to play it without a Dolby Atmos receiver. Does it have zone control? Zone control is a pretty nifty feature. It allows you to run a second, a third, and in some cases a 4th signal to different rooms in the house. In one room you could be listening to, say, a Blu-ray player, and in another room you could be listening to a turntable, with both the Blu-ray and turntable going through the same receiver. Power and impedance. Be sure to make note of the power rating and impedance of your speakers. On the speakers, check the wattage in RMS, or root mean squared. This is the amount of average or continuous input that a speaker can handle. Then check out how the receiver matches up. THD, or total harmonic distortion. This rating measures how much the audio signal is distorted as it goes through the receiver. So in other words, the signal goes into your receiver and then it comes out, and how much is that affected while it's being amplified by the receiver? This is the kind of thing that you probably won't notice unless it's really bad. Under 1% is pretty good. Try to find one that's 0.08 or lower. Does it have all of the wireless integrations that you need? 10 years ago, this may not be something that you were thinking about, but now it's a thing to consider. A good portion of us now are listening to music through streaming services on our phones and our tablets. Luckily, most receivers these days have one or some combination of AirPlay, Alexa, Google Assistant, different streaming services, satellite radio, etc., all built into the receiver. Being able to stream from your phone directly to your receiver is pretty handy. So no matter how you listen to your music, odds are there's going to be a receiver out there that can accommodate you. We wish you all the best on your receiver buying journey. If there's anything else you want us to cover, let us know in a comment, and we'll be sure to do that in a future video. And to make sure you get that future video, be sure to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.